Let me ask you something that most people don't think about until it's too late. Why do your legs feel heavier these days? Why does getting out of a chair take more effort? Why do stairs suddenly feel like mountains? Even when your heart is strong, your diet is healthy, and you're staying active. As a longtime medical researcher who spent decades studying aging and human nutrition, I can tell you, it's not always age. It's not always inactivity. Sometimes the answer is more unexpected and far more frustrating. It could be your fruit. Yes, fruit. That colorful bowl of nature's sweetness you've proudly kept on your kitchen counter for years. The snack you thought was doing you good. We've all grown up with the same belief. Eat your fruits, they're healthy. And in many ways they are, rich in fiber, antioxidants, and vitamins. But here's the part nobody talks about. Not all fruits are created equal, especially after the age of 60. As we age, our metabolism slows, our circulation becomes more fragile, and our tolerance to natural sugars and acids changes. What once was a healthy habit can now quietly become a source of inflammation, joint stiffness, and leg weakness. And the worst part? You may not notice it until the damage has crept in. I've had patients who exercise regularly, avoid junk food, and still suffer from swollen ankles, stiff knees, or burning foot pain, often blaming old age when the real culprit was sitting in their fruit bowl. This is the conversation no one's having. And that's why I made this video. Today, we'll walk through 7 popular fruits that are surprisingly harmful to your leg strength, mobility, and joint health if you're over 60. They may look harmless, they may even have health benefits. But when it comes to aging legs, the science tells a different story. And don't worry, I won't just tell you what to avoid. I'll also show you which fruits can actually heal, strengthen, and protect your legs in the years ahead. But first, let's be honest with ourselves. If you've been feeling slower lately, more sore, or even frustrated with how your body's changing, you're not alone, and it's not your fault. You've likely been doing the best you could with the knowledge you had. Now, it's time to go deeper. Let's uncover what the fruit industry never told you, and what your legs have been trying to say all along. Stick with me. This could change the way you eat and walk for good. Quick pause. If you're finding this helpful, hit like and subscribe to Healthy Daily. We bring you real science, not guesswork, so you can age with strength. Let's get into it. You've heard all your life that fruit is one of the healthiest things you can eat. That's true, mostly. But here's what rarely gets talked about. Not all fruits age well with you. Some fruits, despite being natural and full of vitamins, actually make things harder for your body as you get older, especially when it comes to your legs. Now, I'm not saying these fruits are toxic. They're not. But I've spent decades in medical research, and I can tell you that the way your body processes food at 30 is completely different from how it handles it at 60 or 70. Your metabolism slows, your blood vessels become more fragile, and your tolerance for sugar, acids, and even healthy compounds shifts. That means certain fruits that once gave you energy and strength may now be contributing to the very things you're trying to avoid: joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and weakness. So let's walk through the 7 fruits that could be quietly making it harder for you to stay active and mobile. Number 1. Pineapple. We'll start with pineapple. It's juicy, tropical, and often called a natural anti-inflammatory because of a compound called bromelain. That sounds great on the surface, but here's what people miss. Pineapple is high in both natural sugar and acid. And for seniors, that combination can create a perfect storm. Let's talk about sugar first. Pineapple has one of the highest natural sugar contents among fruits. That means when you eat it, your blood sugar spikes quickly. Now in younger bodies, insulin production kicks in to bring sugar levels back down. But as we age, our response to insulin becomes slower and less efficient. That blood sugar spike lingers longer, and over time, it damages the tiny blood vessels in your legs, the ones that supply your muscles with oxygen and nutrients. Now let's talk about acid. Pineapple is very acidic. That acid can irritate joints, especially if you already have arthritis or inflammation. It's like throwing gasoline on a fire. What starts as a small discomfort in your knees or ankles can become chronic tightness or soreness after just a short walk. A retired nurse I once worked with used to eat pineapple every morning. She believed it was helping her joints. But she kept complaining about swollen feet and knee pain. When we looked at her diet, pineapple was the biggest red flag. She swapped it out for anti-inflammatory fruits like berries, and within a few weeks, the swelling started to fade. Pineapple isn't bad for everyone, but it's not always right for you, especially after 60. Number 2, bananas. Bananas are another fruit people think of as healthy fuel. They're full of potassium, they're easy to digest, and they're often recommended for cramps and muscle recovery. But here's the catch. Bananas are also loaded with fast-digesting carbs and natural sugar. That means they raise your blood sugar quickly, much like a piece of white bread or a candy bar. And like pineapple, this causes insulin spikes that are harder to control with age. Frequent spikes in blood sugar can lead to more inflammation, and inflammation is the root of most joint and muscle problems in older adults. That's why you may notice your legs feel heavier or tighter after eating something as harmless as a banana. There's another layer here. Bananas can also cause the body to retain fluid, especially in people with cardiovascular issues or those taking certain medications. That fluid retention often shows up in the feet and ankles. I've had more than one patient who thought their swelling was from salt, only to find that daily bananas were the underlying cause. This doesn't mean you have to ban bananas forever, but if you're experiencing swelling or dull aches in your lower legs, it's worth pausing the banana habit and seeing what happens. Number 3, grapes. Grapes are sweet, refreshing, and incredibly easy to overeat. That's part of the problem. A small handful of grapes is fine. But the issue is that most people don't stop there. Because grapes are bite-sized, you end up eating cupfuls without realizing it. And those cups are packed with fructose, a natural sugar that's metabolized in the liver. Now here's the thing about fructose. In excess, your liver can't handle it efficiently. It turns into fat and, more importantly, uric acid. Uric acid is the same substance that causes gout and joint inflammation. And even if you don't have full-blown gout, small increases in uric acid can still cause pain and swelling in your knees, toes, and ankles. Have you ever had a sharp, unexpected pain in your big toe? Or a tight, swollen feeling in your knees after sitting too long? Grapes may be playing a role. There's also a connection between fructose and chronic inflammation. As that inflammation builds, it weakens your joints and slows blood flow to your legs, making everyday movements feel harder. Grapes aren't bad in small amounts, but they're incredibly easy to overconsume. And for aging bodies, that's where the danger lies. Number 4, watermelon. Watermelon is often seen as the perfect hydrating fruit. It's mostly water, right? It's light, refreshing, and feels great on a hot day. But here's the twist. Watermelon has a high glycemic index, meaning it raises your blood sugar very quickly, faster than you'd expect from something so watery. For older adults, this quick rise and fall in blood sugar leads to fatigue, especially in the legs. Your muscles don't get the stable fuel they need. Instead, they go through energy highs and crashes. That's when walking feels harder, stairs seem steeper, and your legs ache in ways you can't quite explain. Watermelon is also very easy to eat in large amounts. One thick slice can contain as much sugar as a donut. But because it doesn't taste heavy, we don't notice the impact until later, when our legs feel swollen or our knees feel stiff. The sugar loaf, combined with poor circulation, can also lead to increased fluid pooling in your lower body. If your ankles look puffier after a watermelon-heavy meal, that's no coincidence. It's not about giving up watermelon entirely. It's about moderation and timing. If you're already feeling leg fatigue or swelling, cutting back might help more than you expect. Number 5. Oranges. Oranges are rich in vitamin C and often considered a go-to immune booster. But what many people overlook is that oranges are also highly acidic, and acid can be a real problem for aging joints. Citric acid doesn't just stay in your stomach. Once it's absorbed into your bloodstream, it can irritate tissues throughout your body, especially if you already have inflammation in your joints. And if you're drinking orange juice instead of eating the whole fruit, you're getting all of the sugar with none of the fiber to slow it down. That means fast sugar absorption, insulin spikes, and, once again, systemic inflammation. Many older adults complain of stiffness in the morning or joint soreness that seems random. Sometimes the issue is what they're putting in their glass first thing in the morning. Orange juice seems like a healthy start to the day, but for people over 60, it might be the very thing that's slowing them down. Vitamin C is still important, but there are better sources for older adults that don't come with the acid overload. Berries and papaya are two excellent options. Number 6. Green apples. Green apples are often thought of as the healthier apple because they're less sweet. But they come with a hidden challenge: malic acid. Malic acid gives green apples their tart flavor, but it can also irritate the digestive tract and the joints. In people with a healthy gut and no inflammation, malic acid isn't a big deal. But in aging bodies where digestion is slower and tissues are more sensitive, it can create discomfort. Some seniors I've worked with have reported strange hip tightness or a burning feeling in their thighs after switching to green apples for snacks. They never made the connection until we eliminated the apples and the symptoms started to ease. And even though green apples taste sour, they still contain natural sugar. That sugar can raise blood sugar in sensitive individuals, and when combined with acid, it becomes a double threat for joint inflammation. Like all the fruits we've talked about, the key is not fear, it's awareness. If you've been eating green apples and noticing more leg cramps, morning stiffness, or restless legs at night, it might be worth experimenting without them for a while. Number 7. Mango is delicious. It's tropical, soft, and tastes like candy. But that's exactly the problem. It behaves like candy in your body too. Mangoes are very high in sugar. 1 cup of sliced mango has over 20 grams of sugar. For context, that's more than most people should consume in one snack, especially after 60. All that sugar causes insulin to spike, and when insulin spikes too often, inflammation increases across the board. The soft tissues around your joints become irritated. You might feel a tingling in your toes, a heaviness in your feet, or even burning in your calves after sitting or walking. Mango can also worsen nerve symptoms in people with prediabetes or diabetes. It doesn't feel like a heavy food, but the sugar impact is very real. I had a patient who loved mango smoothies. He swore by them for energy, but he also started having trouble walking long distances and complained of ankle stiffness every evening. When we removed the mango from his routine, his symptoms improved within weeks. Again, mango isn't bad, but if you're over 60 and struggling with your legs, it may not be as innocent as it seems. You've just learned about 7 fruits that, while healthy in theory, may be causing more harm than good when it comes to your leg strength, mobility, and circulation. This isn't about cutting out fruit completely. It's about choosing the ones that work with your body, not against it. In Part 3, we'll explore exactly which fruits help reduce inflammation, support your joints, and keep your legs strong and steady as you age. Let me tell you about Mark. He's 67, walks every day, eats clean, doesn't touch fast food. From the outside, he's doing everything right. But lately his legs have been bothering him. Nothing major, just stiff knees in the morning, swollen ankles by evening. He figured, I'm just getting older. But when we looked at what he was eating, the real issue started to show. Breakfast: oatmeal with banana slices and a glass of orange juice. Mid-morning: a handful of grapes. Lunch: sandwich with watermelon. Afternoon: mango smoothie. Dinner: light, maybe soup with a few green apple slices. Sounds healthy, right? No sugar, no junk food, lots of fruit. But here's the problem. He was flooding his body with natural sugars and acids from morning to night. That constant wave of sugar was spiking his blood sugar, stressing his joints, and slowing circulation, especially to the legs. The fix wasn't complicated. We didn't cut out fruit. We just changed how he used it. Swapped the juice for water, added some eggs to breakfast, switched grapes for berries, and made sure he paired fruit with something that slowed digestion, like nuts or avocado. Just a few small changes. 3 weeks later, his legs felt noticeably better. That's the takeaway. Sometimes what feels healthy on the surface isn't helping underneath. It's not about doing less. It's about doing things a little smarter. Next, let's talk about the fruits that actually help your legs stay strong and pain-free. Now that we've covered which fruits may be quietly working against you, let's shift the focus to the ones that can actually support your legs, joints, and circulation as you age. Because the truth is, the right fruits, eaten in the right way, can be powerful tools for healing. They can reduce inflammation, protect your joints, and give your muscles the nutrients they need to stay strong. Let's start with one of the most underrated groups: berries. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. They're small but mighty. These fruits are low in sugar but packed with antioxidants, especially anthocyanins, which help fight inflammation throughout the body. They're gentle on blood sugar, and studies show they improve circulation, including in the legs. I often recommend a handful a day, either with breakfast or as a snack. Next, cherries, particularly tart cherries, are worth mentioning. They've been shown to lower uric acid, which helps relieve joint pain, especially in the knees and toes. If you suffer from occasional gout flare-ups or lingering inflammation, a small serving of cherries a few times a week may offer real relief. Just avoid the sugary cherry juice drinks. Stick to the whole fruit. Then there's avocado. Yes, it's technically a fruit, and it's one of the best for joint health. Avocados are full of healthy monounsaturated fats that cushion your joints and reduce internal inflammation. They also help stabilize blood sugar, which supports circulation to your lower body. Try adding a few slices to your morning eggs or spreading it on whole grain toast. Papaya is another gentle, supportive option. It contains the enzyme papain, which helps digestion and reduces systemic inflammation. It's soft, easy to chew, and kind to sensitive stomachs, great for older adults who have trouble with acidic or fibrous fruits. Finally, consider pears, especially when eaten with a bit of protein or healthy fat. Pears are lower in sugar than many assume, and their fiber slows digestion, which keeps your energy stable and your blood sugar in check. 2 things your legs will thank you for. These aren't just safe options, they actively help. They support the very systems that carry you through your day: muscles, joints, and veins. In the final section, we'll wrap it all together, and I'll leave you with a few powerful reminders to carry forward. Let's keep it simple. You've just learned that not all fruits are helpful after 60. Some can quietly add to the stiffness in your knees, the swelling in your ankles, or the heaviness in your legs. That doesn't mean fruit is the problem. It means your body has changed, and it's time your choices did too. You don't need a radical diet. You don't need to fear food. You just need to pay attention. Start small. Swap grapes for blueberries. Replace orange juice with papaya. Try avocado in place of bananas. These aren't drastic moves, but over time, they support stronger legs, calmer joints, and better energy. I've seen it firsthand. People who thought joint pain was just aging made a few changes and got their strength back. You can too. Because getting older doesn't mean giving up. It means getting smarter. And smarter starts with knowing what your body needs today, not what worked 30 years ago. If this video gave you a new way to think about your health, hit that subscribe button. Like the video. Share it with someone else who might need to hear it. This is Healthy Daily, and we're here to help you stay strong, steady, and in control, one smart choice at a time. Your legs carry your life. Let's make sure they're ready for it.